This is the next video you're going to hear is a Navajo person reciting the Navajo Beauty Prayer in the native language of Navajo, and the words that you'll see are also the actual spelling of this prayer.
Shidagi hojongo nasharo shikiri hojongo nasharo nahastan shiketl ade nahastan bakari hojongo nasharo aro shitzit aje inde yan khate jo hojongo nasharo dor aro do atso shinago hojongo nasharo hojon hasli hojon hasli hojon hasli hojon hasli hojon hasli.
The English translation is, "With beauty before me I walk. With beauty behind me I walk. With beauty above me I walk. With beauty around me I walk. It has become beauty again. It has become beauty again. It has become beauty again. It has become beauty again." 400 years ago, in the high deserts of the American Southwest, the great wisdom keepers of the Navajo, or the dying as they called themselves, were tested by extremes of climate, the harsh elements, and the surrounding warring tribes around them. Through the hardships that resulted from drought, intense heat, and lack of food for their societies, the Navajo realized that they must transform the power of their inner pain to endure and transcend the harsh conditions of their time. Our lives today are not much different from the lives of the native people and who roamed the high deserts of the Southwest. Although the scenery has shifted, the circumstances have not changed. We still find ourselves in difficult situations that sometimes shake the very foundation of who we are, the foundation of our beliefs. And they test our inner strength and give us the opportunity to find the truth and the power that lies within us so that we can rise above the challenges in our lives. Many of us experience pain in our minds, in our bodies. Many people during this time are challenged financially. We see struggles in politics with our leaders, among our people. We see racial discrimination. We see people who can't get medical care. And yet, we know that we must come together. This talk is inspired by Gregg Braden's book, The Wisdom Codes, Ancient Words to Rewire Our Brains and Heal Our Hearts. Gregg Braden, in this book, cites a collection of trusted hymns and prayers and mantras that have helped people in many different civilizations all throughout the world. Prayers and mantras that have helped people who are Buddhist, people who are Christian, people who are Native American. And they bring inspiration to us so that we can find that place within us where our spirit lives, and to call forth on that power, to see the beauty even in the difficult things, so that we can rise above the challenges in our lives. Neurons that wire together, fire together. Recent discoveries in modern science add to a growing body of evidence suggesting that beauty is more than just a pleasurable aesthetic. It's a transformative power. Through our experience of beauty, we have the power to change the way we feel. And as we've discussed in previous weeks, that our feelings, the way that we feel is directly related to the way that the neurons in our body wire and fire. And those neurons have the capacity to actually change the chemistry in our lives, the chemistry in our bodies. And by changing the chemistry in our bodies, it changes the way we interact with the world, thereby affecting the world. Science are discovering that the way that we think affects our world condition. And so this prayer today, this beauty prayer, is really about using this ancient technique, code that the Navajo Indians understood to see beauty everywhere. And by doing that, to actually change our consciousness and change the world. The beauty prayer, or Code 12, as Braden calls it in his book, is the closing prayer in the Navajo Blessing Way ceremony. And it's one of 6 ceremonies intended to bring harmony to the people and to the cosmos. Gregg Braden writes, "To offer the essence of this code as simply and respectively as possible, I'm sharing an informal daily use version of this prayer that was described by the Navajo artist and painter Shinto Bengay." And he wrote, Bengay offers this prayer in 3 brief phrases, and each phrase illuminates a key insight into how we can capture this beauty and be a part of it and experience it in our lives. So this is actually one of Shanto's paintings. And he says, the prayer goes like this: the beauty that you live with, the beauty that you live by, the beauty upon which you base your life. Through these words, for centuries, Navajo elders have conveyed a sophisticated wisdom in which they reminded their people of the connection between our inner world and how we perceive it and our outer world. And this connection has only been realized recently in science. And each facet or phrase in this prayer describes one part of our relationship with beauty. And it can help us to embrace beauty in a more holistic and complete way. And the key is that we must invite the power of beauty into our lives. We can do that phase by phase or line by line in this prayer. And today we'll go over each line and what it means and how we can incorporate it into our thinking in the same way that the Navajo did. And to make the wisdom prayer more personal, I've changed the word you to I in this prayer. And so the first phase, the first part of this prayer is the beauty that I live with. I invite you to take a breath and say this with me together. The beauty that I live with. This phrase is key in reminding us that we don't create the beauty in the world. It already exists. And it's our job to recognize it in everything we see. And while we know that not everything in our world we can often perceive as beautiful. This phrase, this line in this prayer is actually inviting us to see it that way. Gregg Braden writes, "Finding beauty is the key to making sense of the seemingly senseless events in life." You know, our job is to find beauty. Our job is to look for it. Our job is to see it everywhere we are and in everything. Even to know that we have a choice when we face challenges in our lives. And even in the midst of our hurt, to see beauty. Even in the midst of our pain. Even in the midst of our difficulty in our relationships, to see the beauty that's there, beyond the feelings and the hurt, but to recognize that in the depths of that, there is beauty. Mother Teresa is a perfect example, I think, of beholding beauty. She applied the simple elegance of beauty and her belief in beauty to the idea of the untouchables of India. These people that nobody wanted to go near, nobody wanted to help, everybody was afraid of. But instead of seeing them that way, she and her sisters of mercy reached out and loved them. They took people that were dying off of the streets, and they created hospice for them. And they held them, even in these poor people's moments of losing their life. Mother Teresa and the Sisters of Mercy held these people and loved these poor people. And she helped to release and let go of the stigma that surrounded the so-called untouchables of India. She gave them dignity and privacy, beauty in their last hours on earth, without judging them as less than. She saw them as equal with. Mother Teresa was able to find beauty where few people believed that beauty could exist. Every time we choose to see beauty in the possibility, even in the present hurt or in loss or in disappointments and in the betrayals of life, we can choose to take back our power rather than letting ourselves be defined by a situation. Really, we redefine it by beholding the beauty in it. When we see it differently, the person who's hurting or the situation beholds that energy, that frequency of love. And it changes the whole situation and lifts it up and makes it beautiful. The next part of the poem is the beauty that I live with. Say that with me. The beauty that I live with. When we say the beauty that I live with, we're acknowledging that it's our choice to see beauty in everything. I think I repeated the first one twice. So let's say this affirmation together. I see beauty in everything. I see beauty in everyone. I see beauty everywhere. And that brings us to the second phrase. which is the beauty that I live by. Say that with me. The beauty that I live by. This phrase reminds us of the significant role that beauty plays in our lives. When we use this phrase, we do it with the expectation that we are going to see beauty everywhere. When we live searching for and expecting to discover beauty in everything, that's what life shows us. Or doesn't that make so much sense? When we expect it, life shows it to us. So we want to live our lives expecting to see beauty. And we see beauty even in the polarizations that we could see in our world. Instead of seeing polarization, we see beauty. We see love. We see peace. While we can't change what has already happened, as we acknowledge life's tragedies, we also recognize that within each experience, there is beauty. And it's a beauty that balances the extremes. Let's say our affirmation together. I see beauty in everything. I see beauty in everyone. I see beauty everywhere. And the third sentence in this prayer is the beauty upon which I base my life. Say it with me. The beauty upon which I base my life. This phrase guides us to the next step of beholding beauty. And this code, as Braden calls us, reminds us of that we can allow the idea of beauty to be our worldview. It's the way that we see the world. It's the way that we behold even the challenges. To behold beauty everywhere in the world. Imagine holding that beauty as we watch the news, or as we hear about the conflicts or racial disputes, or the hurt of people. Just to behold that beauty everywhere. That's my worldview. That's how we can see the world. That's how the Navajo saw the world. In spite of the challenges that they had, they beheld that beauty everywhere because that's what they expected to behold. That was their worldview. Gregg Braden writes, our willingness to embrace the beauty in all things literally directs our neurons to reflect our choice. Wow. So as we are beholding beauty everywhere, we are impacting the many neurons in our minds and our bodies. And those neurons respond in like manner and involve. And we see them everywhere and we experience them everywhere. I like this little cartoon. It says, hey, you new around here? This is neuron communication. You know, it's like our cells seek other cells that hold the same chemical balance. And this is what we're really shifting here. Is we're shifting our thinking, and we're also shifting the way that our cells relate to each other. This is literally very deep, powerful work that we're doing that comes through this very simple prayer. Through the words of the Navajo author of this prayer, even though his or her name was forgotten a long time ago, we've been handed down this amazing prayer, which helped and supported and inspired the Navajo. And it can have the same effect on us today. In a moment, we will repeat the heart-brain coherence prayer that we did last week. However, we'll incorporate into this meditation this affirmation, which can lock it into our mind and our body and our spirit. So I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. And this meditation, this heart-brain coherence prayer is about consciously making the choice to create harmony with the neurons in our mind, with the neurons in our heart, thereby affecting all of the cells, all of the awareness in our body, in our spirit. Breathing in and breathing out. Relaxing into this moment and letting go of anything other than being present right here and right now. And the first step in this heart-brain coherence meditation is to simply shift our awareness from our mind to our heart. And this can seem challenging to some. But I know if you give yourself time to practice this meditation, the neurons in your body will respond and welcome each other. So I invite you to physically touch the area around your heart. To place one or both hands on your chest. The Mayan used open palms. The Buddhists used prayer hands. And we know that just touching this area brings our attention to our heart. Our awareness will always go to the place where we feel sensation. And breathing in and breathing out. And the second step in this heart-brain coherence meditation is to begin by breathing very slow. Even to breathe, and as you breathe in, take 5 seconds to do so. Hold the breath for a moment and then let go. Again, with about 5 seconds. And then breathing in, holding, and letting go. Knowing that you are perfectly safe right now. knowing that the birds are rejoicing. Typically, when we feel safe, our hearts sing. Some of us chirp. And what must I say? You might say to yourself, I am comfortable and safe right now. And the third step in this heart-brain coherence meditation is to use words that are powerful. Words that help us to anchor this transforming power that we are embracing. Scientists have discovered that words of appreciation, of gratitude, of care, and compassion help to stimulate the neurons in our heart in a way that they reach out to the neurons in our brains. So using appreciation or gratitude or care or compassion, think of a person or a situation that you can feel one or more of these words for. Appreciation, gratitude, care, compassion. And as I read the Navajo Beauty Prayer, I invite you to hold these words in your heart, to let them be the love that you walk in. The Navajo said, "The beauty that I live with, the beauty that I live by, the beauty upon which I base my life." With beauty before me, I walk. With beauty behind me, I walk. With beauty above me, I walk. With beauty around me, I walk. I see beauty in everything. I see beauty in everyone. I see beauty everywhere. Let's just rest in these words for a moment. The fourth step in this heart-brain coherence meditation is to check in with your mind and with your body. Notice your breathing. How does your body feel? How do your emotions feel? Breathing in and breathing out. I invite you to begin to bring your awareness back to this moment. Being aware of the light in this room, the energy in this room. The love in this room. And then open your eyes whenever you're ready. And I invite you to practice this heart-brain coherence prayer. I've given more details about it, or the details that I used in the Walk Your Talk. You know, using this prayer opens the door to having this harmony and coherence with our mind, with our body. A coherence that will involve all of us, all of who you are. And I invite you also this week to look for something of beauty that maybe you haven't seen before. As you walk or drive or make a plan just to do so, to go somewhere, and then just observe, seeing beauty in someone, seeing beauty in a situation, maybe something that's challenging for you. Even to see the beauty in that. To even embrace sometimes the hurt that we feel. But I invite you to really pay attention this week and always to experience the fullness of the beauty that is so rich in our lives. This ancient Navajo Beauty Prayer will help us have a more balanced life and a healthier perspective. It's an emotional compass to keep us on a steady path, to keep us focused, to keep us in this place between our hearts and our mind. This wisdom code, this beauty prayer served the Navajo, and it can serve us as well. I see the beauty in everything. I see beauty in every experience. I see beauty everywhere. Let's say that together. I see beauty in everything. I see beauty in everyone. I see beauty everywhere. I believe that one of the ways that we can be in the flow of life, one of the ways that we can walk in love, that we can walk in joy, and we can walk in truth, is by partaking in the giving and the give and take that we get to be a part of as we practice prosperity. This is how by giving and receiving is how we prime our prosperity pump. So I want to thank everyone for being here today. I want to thank especially Kurt Lee over here for providing amazing music and holding the note with us today. And I'd like to invite those of you watching us on Facebook and all of us here today to be a part of the giving and receiving with us today. And there's a number of ways you can do that. You can actually go to our website, www.unityonmaui.org, and click on the donate button and make your offering there. Or you can also send us a check in the old-fashioned way, and you can address that to Unity on Maui, 483 South High Street in Wailuku. And of course, if you're here today, you can just write a check or deposit something in our offering basket that will come around in a few moments. So as we hold our gifts, let's affirm our affirmation of prosperity together. Let's say it together. Through a grateful, giving heart, my mind and life overflow with the abundance of God's all-providing, infinite supply. And so it is. Thank you, loving Spirit, for these gifts that have come to us in love. We hold them, we bless them, and we give thanks for them, knowing that they move through this ministry and out into the world. And we see a world filled with love, with light, with joy, and with peace. And so it is. Wow, today's flowers, guess who they were donated by, offered by today? Who? It's by Katie. Thank you, Katie. Beautiful flowers. Wow. That is so beautiful. Thank you. And if you'd like to offer flowers on a Sunday morning, you can let us know. We'll put you on a sign-up sheet, or if you're here today, you can sign up at the table, and we will dedicate the flowers to you in honor of someone or something. So thank you for being a part of that. And I think, speaking of Katie, I think we should get her up here to say something, don't you think? All right, so let's give a big hand for Katie Welch. Woo! Good morning.
All right, so I'm excited to tell you all about the Angel Tree program. Unity on Maui is going to help those in need in the community through the Angel Tree program, which is part of the Salvation Army. And what it is are these tags that are located on the tree back there. And it says the name and age of the children that we're going to be helping. And it'll say what they're requesting. For example, this person is 1, and they are requesting car toys, learning toys, and musical toys. And so there's a whole host of variety of things that they're requesting. And if there's a bigger ticket item, you're welcome to go in on it with your friends or family. And they are running this program through December 11th, and so that's the last date to turn items in. And you can turn them in at Queen Ka'ahumanu Mall. And you can't miss it if you walk into the main area there where the escalators are. There's a big tree and 2 lovely ladies waiting to help. And they're requesting that you please do not wrap these items and that you do return them with the tag itself. And so I'll be in the back the next 2 weekends at the tree and can help check you out. And I have a fun story from one of our Unity members this morning who was able to participate, and Kelly Stanley, she said that it brought out her inner child, and she had so much fun shopping for this young person, and that she learned what Pokemon cards are. And so it's a lot of fun and a great way to participate and help those in need. So there's a flyer, many flyers back there with my name and phone number, and so if you have questions while you are through the process, I'm happy to help you. So I'll be back there, and thank you for allowing me this opportunity to participate, and we can help those in need. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, next week, we're going to look at the Buddhist prayer of refuge. It's more commonly known as the prayer of 3 jewels. And in the Tibetan tradition, the 3 jewels are understood to mean the first one is the Buddha, which actually represents the teachings that the Buddha taught. And the second one is Dharma, the second jewel, which is the fundamental truth that we know. And the last one is the Sangha, which is the community. And so we'll look at these 3 jewels next week and discover, what is it that this amazing, rich, ancient tradition can teach us about ourselves and our own spiritual path. And this prayer is ultimately about protection, because it's about embracing and embodying the idea that we don't have to focus on suffering and pain. And by not doing so, we can indeed become enlightened as the Buddha did. So that'll be next week right here at 10 o'clock at Unity on Maui. So come and join us. And some of you have been participating in our Aloha group. We've been studying and working on the art of noticing, and it's really about developing mindfulness. And this book is, I think it's 191 different practices, maybe not quite that many. I like to exaggerate. It's 131, 191, What's a couple digits among friends? So it's 130 ways to spark creativity, find inspiration, and discover joy in everyday life. And you're welcome, even if you haven't been a part of this, you're welcome to join us on Thursday at 7 o'clock. There'll be a link, a Zoom link in our newsletter this week. And if you're new to the group, use the beauty exercise. Come to our group and share with us something of beauty that you discovered this week. And I'm sure that what you share will uplift all of us. This is an amazing book that's with relatively simple exercises that help us to pay attention more to life and to notice the world, this amazing, beautiful world around us. So, and also, if you enjoyed today's lesson and you're wondering, how can I apply the principles of this Navajo prayer, or how can I incorporate the mind-heart coherence meditation? It's all in my Walk Your Talk that you can find online, and if you're here today, on the back table. So help yourself to that. So I think we've about covered everything today. Kurt, you got anything else that you want to say or sing about? All right, then, well, why don't we stand and let's affirm and pray together our prayer for protection, which begins: the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us wherever we are. God is. And so it is. God bless you, friend. Thank you for being here. Until next week, aloha.
Where I live, they're all raised